Hey friends, Esther here with Chosen and Cherished, and in this video I want to walk you through the monthly review section. So we'll be going over the action plan, the questions, and then also the habit tracker. So let's dive right in. So this is my March month, and for February, honestly, I did not really get to do anything. I was sick for most of February and even part of January, and so I did not even complete my February weekly, monthly, nothing. So this is a brand new month, and I'm hoping that this month looks a lot different than the last 5-ish weeks. So let's go ahead and dive into the monthly review first. So the first question is, consider last month's greatest accomplishments. Describe them below. Well, I don't really have any great accomplishments from last month, except that I survived. I did finish reading a book by A.W. Tozier, and so I'm going to complete that, but really that is my main accomplishment from last month because I was so sick last month. I had the flu, I had strep, I had about a week where I was semi-okay, and then I came down with a really severe cold that went back into my lungs and strep again. So it has been a whirlwind of a month. So I'm just going to write that I did stay on my Bible study reading plan, and then I finished a book. So that's what I'm going to write for number 1. Okay, question number 2 is, what made them great and how did you see God's hand in them? Well, what made them great is that's really the only thing that was feeding me. I say feeding me soul-wise through the month. I wasn't really able to do much of anything else. I wasn't able to really interact or exercise or any of the things that really helped me stay mentally focused, if you will. I wasn't able to do them. So how did I see God's hand in them? Is that I saw him carrying me through and just saw the prayers of people. So I'm going to write that down really fast. Okay, so question number 3, ponder last month's obstacles and challenges and list them below. The main obstacle and challenge that I had is that I, like I mentioned, was sick. So I'm just going to write that down really fast. That is really the only thing that I had going last month that was a huge obstacle, and having to go back and forth to the doctor multiple times and medicine. But that is something that I also wrote on number 2, that I saw God help me through modern medicine, because I think a lot of the times we kind of discount modern medicine as one of the blessings that God has given us. Not that we should ultimately rely on it at all times, but when you're sick and you have really bad lung infections and things like that, the antibiotics are definitely a godsend. So number 4, were they a result of misaligned motives, distractions, or uncontrollable factors? Absolutely uncontrollable factors. So I think what happened was I went to the gym, and I believe that's where I picked up the flu. And then that week that I started kind of feeling better, I decided I was going to go back to the gym to try to get back into, because it had been 2 weeks, actually 2.5 weeks. And I believe I picked something back up from the gym. So needless to say, I stayed out of the gym I didn't have the energy to anyway, but okay. Number 5, weigh and study last month's story, remembering that every day is a page in your book's life. So when I look back at the last month and I kind of contemplate the story of the last month, sometimes I think in our illnesses and things of that nature, we can really find the rest of God that we truly need for our souls. So as I mentioned up here in number 1, reading his word and reading books by other people as well really helped feed my soul, and prayer, of course. Honestly, I think that finding that rest, because I am not one that typically likes to rest, I think that really helps me realign my thoughts and my heart and my posture. And so sometimes being laid on your back or just not being able to do much is a really good reset in the rest area. So I'm just going to put rest in that area. All right, now we move on to redirect. So this is to change course, modify, or pivot. The first one is, based on last month's challenges, what are specific things that that did not work as you anticipated? Well, I had a bunch planned for last month. I was writing a Bible study on renewing your mind. That fell to the wayside. I was trying to design additional planner stickers. That fell to the wayside. There was a bunch of things that I had planned out that did not get accomplished. So I'm just going to write that down really fast. Okay, number 2 says identify what was within your control and those things beyond your control. What spiritual lessons can you learn from these challenges? Well, I kind of already discussed the rest. That's something that I've learned, that in those hard times that truly God is the only source of true rest that we can find. And that it's okay to not get everything done. I find that I tend to stick to a list of things that I want to get done, and when those things aren't accomplished, I kind of not necessarily feel like a failure, but I feel like I've not done everything within my ability to do the work that God has set before me. And so just being sick and not being able to do that also is a good reminder that this frail body does not always keep up to the pace that I say it should keep up to. And sometimes that's not the same pace that God has called me to. So identify these things within your control. So I'm just going to put a few things here. Okay, let's move on to number 3. This is retracing the areas in which you excelled. What stands out, these areas are pivotal. Really, the only area that stood out to me that I excelled in is continuing to read God's word and be fed by his word while my physical body was recovering. Normally, I would have something to put there, but this month has been very different. Okay, reset. So here we want to uproot, remove, shift, and revise. So number 1, utilizing the discovered information. What are 3 things you can infuse into this month's goal? Uproot your distractions, remove some dead ends, shift your focus if necessary, and revise your direction. So for this next month, because I was out of the loop for so long, getting back into a daily routine is going to be very essential for me. Not necessarily that was created by any distraction or anything like that, but I'm going to really need to focus on getting back into a daily routine. It's amazing how quickly things can take you out of the norm and really shift you out of productivity. So another thing that I want to try to establish this month is to try to work at either the library or a coffee shop one day a week. I find that here at home, I tend to get really distracted. So on days that I'm going to try to set up a shipping schedule and work within that shipping schedule to find a day that works for me to work outside of the home. So that I'm not just easily distracted by laundry or dishes or anything like that. So I'm going to set up. Okay, so there's a spot for 3. These are the 2 that I am really going to be focusing on this month to try to get back into my routine of productivity, as well as just working for the Lord and writing, because that's something I feel he has really placed upon my heart to focus on, is writing some new studies this year. And so this last month really took me out of that. But with that in mind, the moments of gratitude are huge. So my daughter, she's 17. This is her senior year, and she has cooked and she has cleaned. She has done pretty much everything around this house. So I'm just going to write that down. And then my husband's help in packaging and things of that nature. Okay. Now the next section is rate last month's success. That would be a big fat 0. Not really. But I would rate that as a 1 on success because I really got nothing done. So that was my month. We all have them. And moving forward, I hope this next month is a lot better. So With that said, this month's focus for me is going to really be focused on writing. So I'm going to focus on writing the study. That is what I'm going to use most of my my time. And then I also want to get back into the gym. And I would like to create a few more YouTube videos. All right, so a verse for this month, I think for me, it's going to be whatever you do, work for the Lord as though you're working for Him, knowing that your work is not in vain. Because I am writing on renewing the mind, that is something that I believe most Christians truly struggle with. And it's something that God has really laid upon my heart. He's been doing a work in my life, and I always believe that He works in you before He works through you. So I really want to take the information that He has laid upon my heart, the information, the process, everything like that, and I want to help others in that area. So I'm going to work unto the Lord. I'm going to work as I'm working for Him, and know that my work is not in vain. So I'm going to write that verse here. All right, this last section is a prayer for refining. So I'm just going to pray that this next month, He uses me for His glory, for my good, for the good of other people, that He helps me to get back into a routine, and that He gives me success in writing this Bible study. So I'm going to write this prayer off camera. I tend to get pretty personal on my prayers, so but that's going to be the focus. Is I'm going to take all of this information. I'm also going to pray for health, that He continues to give me health, especially in my lungs. And so I'll write that later. So we've got all this information. So now what we're going to do is go back here, and we're going to write this month's word. Now, normally what I do is I take whatever went on the previous month, whether it was good or bad, and I use that information, what I've just filled out, all of this, to help me decide on the next month's word and its focus. And for me, that is going to be literally focus. So I am going to focus. I kind of teetered between focus and productive, but I think I really want I think both of them really kind of tie in together. But my focus, I want it to be on the Lord and on His work. So my word is going to be focus. And now I've been known to kind of decorate these little areas cute. So you can do that if you want. But that is what I'm going to do for my word this next month. And I'm just going to go through here and kind of highlight. Now, I don't always use every section, but I do assign each section for something specific. So I'll show you what I mean. Let me get through here. I'm just going to highlight them all, whether I use them or not, at least they're highlighted. All right, so this top area, I am going to do my fitness. And so I'm going to write a few of the goals that I want to do for this next month in the area of fitness. One of them being just simply getting back into the gym 5 times a week. So I'm also going to log my food. And then I'm going to weigh daily. I find that this helps me. I did lose some weight over this last month, which was great. Not the way I wanted to lose it, but I will definitely take it. But I do want to get back into weighing daily to try to help me focus on eating well. And then I am going to eat clean. All right, and then here I'm going to put family. Now for our family, we pretty much didn't do much of anything over the last month, really more like 5 weeks. So I'm going to set up some date nights. I want to visit my mom and my dad, have a coffee date with my youngest daughter, and then possibly do either a coffee date or a Bible study with my oldest daughter. And then my daughter and I, there was one thing that I forgot. We we're doing a lot of games sitting on the couch because we couldn't do much of anything else. So that was really fun and refreshing. So I should have actually probably written that in here as well. But so I want to set up 2 dates. So I'm going to run through this really fast. All right, this next section, I think I'm going to do my products. So the things that I want to focus on for this next month. And as I mentioned, it's going to be writing the Renewing Your Mind Bible Study and then creating some new stickers, hopefully for the planner. And then I have some other things in mind. I'm not sure that I will get to them, but I do want to create a master list of just brainstorming ideas that I have. All right, this next section is going to be my YouTube section. And I think this is going to be my last section that I do because I don't really, this is enough for me for this next month, especially having to slowly ease back into things. It's amazing how quickly you get out of the routine of things and how quickly it is that your mind kind of forgets that normal. So easing back into this next month will be a top priority for me. And so I'm just going to, I would love to create more on YouTube. So I want to create at least one Bible study video, either verse mapping or soap. And then I want to create a prayer video and then maybe another monthly and weekly setup for the planner. So I'm gonna write that real fast. Okay, so that is all that I am going to do. And at the end of the month, I'll come in here or as I'm going, I will come in here and check these off. And then those that I did not get to, I will typically highlight with the color that I used and then transfer those to the next month. So then last thing that I am going to do is set up my habit tracker. This is going to be essential for me this coming month. Just trying to get back into those daily routines that I was so used to. I had trained myself to get into these morning and nightly routines of self-care and just things of that nature. And I've really gotten out of that over the last month, or 5 weeks-ish. So I'm gonna put a few of those things down and then we will be done. So the first thing I'm gonna do is quickly highlight this. And the way that I do this, of course, you can do it differently, but you can, what I will plan on doing is marking these in as I have them with the color that I use. And so I do keep out the highlighters that I use for the month as well as for the week. So like in my weekly layout, whatever I use, I will keep out on my desk so that it makes it easier for me to set that in or to update it. And that's all I'm gonna do. And so I'll just keep those on my desk. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through what I'm going to actually track this month. I do want to track my Renewing the Mind. That is essential for me to work on it at least 5 to 6 days a week. So I'm gonna write that down, and then I'm going to write down the gym. So I'm gonna work out. And that's gonna help me get back into that 5 times a week routine that I wanna get back into. And then I'm going to do my nighttime routine. And my vitamins, of course, and then I want to make the bed. That's a simple accomplishment that I can do every single morning. Okay, so there we have it. This month is set up. I did, in case you're wondering, I got this little sticker from a sticker book that I found on Hobby Lobby's clearance section. And it's just got some, let's see, it's got some little circles in here. So I just use that circle and then put my March sticker on top of it. Let me know if this was helpful for you. I would love to try to start doing these every month just to kind of discuss and go over the previous month. And if that would be helpful for you, just let me know. But hopefully I can do it again next month, and next month will look different than this month did, where I had virtually not much to really write in there. And so hopefully next month will look very different than this month. And then I can go over, kind of review the track system and just the goals that I had and what was accomplished and things of that nature. So just let me know if that was helpful for you. And until next time, blessings.